It's really borderless. The Greenbelt doesn't depend on what jurisdiction you're in. It's just a seamless way to go.
When somebody mentions the Boise River Greenbelt, I just picture smiling, happy, healthy people. And a lot of times I envision, this sound you hear in the background, the river kind of rolling over the cobbles and the rocks.
It's basically a lifeline for all of the communities in the Treasure Valley.
When we were kids, as it got a little farther along, we'd ride our bikes down and jump in the river. All those great things come to mind.
I think what really comes to mind is the fact that we have such a treasure here with the Greenbelt.
Greetings, Boise!
Greetings from Denver!
We're almost totally connected all the way to Eagle Island State Park. And there's so many activities you can do here that are free. You can throw a line in the water, ride your bike, walk with friends, talk, jog, train, do a lot of things here. It's great.
This is a unique experience for families as well as riders, bike riders, people who are walking, to be able to look at nature in so many different ways.
One of the greatest things happened in my lifetime, no doubt about it. My older brother, his first summer job was working on, if it wasn't the very first stretch, it was one of the first stretches of the Greenbelt. And he had no idea what he was doing. It was just a path that was over in Anmorth, and it just started here and ended there. And they worked on it most of the summer, and look what we've got today. It's you just can't think about Boise without the Greenbelt, and thankfully we never have to.
A former city council member, Bill Onweiler, he had the vision. He really felt like there could be a way to connect the park system through downtown with some sort of a concrete or asphalt connectivity. I can assure you that there were naysayers that were telling Councilmember Onweiler that this just isn't a possibility. You could never get as many landowners as we needed to get to agree to easements to be able to push the Greenbelt through where you see it today. And here we are 50 years later, and we have connectivity not just with a single track Greenbelt, but we actually have it on both the north and south side of the Boise River throughout the entire city limits of the city of Boise. That's a pretty major accomplishment.
I love seeing the looks on people's faces when they're exploring the Greenbelt, maybe for the first time, the conversations that occur on the Greenbelt. And I also love seeing the wildlife and the habitat along the Boise River corridor. There's nothing really like it in an urban environment.
Well, the Greenbelt is a centerpiece of our recreational opportunities in Garden City. I think our greatest accomplishment was the construction of our West Bridge. About 1.5 miles west of Glenwood. You stand in the middle of that bridge and you don't have any idea really you're in the middle of an urbanized area.
The stretch to the west of us here, right before Garden City's piece, was a very involved stretch. We ran into some difficulties, old cisterns, and some really heavy lifting in in those last pieces. It's taken some doing over these last, especially 6, 8, 10 years.
The Idaho Foundation for Parks and Lands acquired the Plantation Island. In 2017, we were notified that because of the high flood waters, we were going to probably lose one of the bridges. But once we put it back into place, it's been nothing but hurrahs ever since.
Ada County has done its part to sort of fill in the gaps between the cities, and in particular to make the connections all the way upstream to Lucky Peak Dam.
But you just can't rest when it comes to the Greenbelt, because inevitably somebody will say, "That stretch over there, Mayor, come on. It makes my bike bump, and I don't like that."
So we've been able to change out a lot of our Greenbelt through our major repair and maintenance program and go from asphalt to concrete. And it's going to provide not only a much smoother, a better surface, but it also is going to last a lot longer than the asphalt that we had.
50 years is a long time. I think it's pretty wild to see the e-bikes and the different types of uses on the Greenbelt. I'll be really interested to see what recreation is, kind of the big future of recreation on the Greenbelt, and how useful it will be.
I mean, not a lot of cities have the opportunity to have a river run through it. And then have the vision that was started in Boise years ago and has now moved on to the rest of us to really have an amenity along the river that is a forever deal.
The Greenbelt means, to me, it's an opportunity. It's an opportunity that gives a chance to be in nature in the middle of an urban setting.
Well, first of all, you think Boise. If you say foothills, you say Boise, you say Greenbelt. You think Boise because it's iconic. It is just inherent. It's part of what makes Boise great.
It's free. And free and highly accessible is really what we're about as far as our mission in providing our residents recreational opportunities and making Boise the most livable city in the country.
Here's to all those folks. I won't even start to mention them because it's just be impossible. Your good work is all around us and enjoyed by Boiseans and members of the whole community for years to come.